Hey everyone, how are you all doing today? Right now I'm doing some Hunter, just catching some Draconic Chadinkos, trying to get my Hunter rocks out of the way, gain a little Hunter XP, nothing spectacular, just some daily things, and I'd like to say I'm sorry for my scratchy voice ahead of time. I don't know how it happened, maybe because of the Super Bowl, but my voice is not at its full potential, so if I sound scratchy or if it sounds a little off, I'm very sorry. But anyways, let's get right into the story. Today's story is about getting lured. Now, this story marks back to around 2008. I think I was lured around then for everything I had, and I'd like to share that story with you. I know it's not a real-life story, but it's a RuneScape story that's pretty much the biggest, most traumatic thing that ever happened to me on RuneScape, so I thought I'd share that with you, raise a little bit of awareness on luring. I'm always against luring and scamming and hacking and all that stuff, so it was terrible when it happened to me, and I hope it never happens to any of you, and I know it's happened to a lot of you because they have some people on RuneScape who just don't care about anything but gold, so people are always trying to steal your stuff or coming up with plots to take your items or be your friend and steal your stuff, so it's a terrible thing, but I thought I'd share with you my story on being lured. Now, this marks back to 2008, like I said, and I was in World 2, back in the trading capital of RuneScape. You would go to World 2 to sell all of your items if you haven't played during that time. You would go to World 2, Fally Park, and you would run around. There's certain sections where people would be selling certain items, and you would go there and you would sell your things, you would buy your things, and back then, God Wars had just come out, and BGSs, which is a Bandos God Sword, were going for about 50 mil, and I had 50 mil at the time, and I had a Bandos God Sword. I went and bought one, I did some God Wars with it, and my main goal was to get an Armadillo God Sword, but I only had the Bandos one at that time. Now, I wanted to sell it because I was going to do something with my money. I think I was going to get a 99 or something, but I went to World 2 to sell this Bandos God Sword, and I went to the section, which I think was right above the bridge before you get to the Fally White Knight Castle, so I think it was right there, right by the furnace, and I was trying to sell my BGS, and someone saw me saying selling BGS 50 mil, and I eventually did sell it for 50 mil, and this guy came up to me and said, "Hey man, can I talk to you in private?" So I said, "Sure, why not?" And I was in World 2 for about 2 hours trying to sell this thing, and this guy came up to me right after I sold it, and he said, "Hey, come with me." And at the time there was no money pouch or anything, so my 50 mil was in my inventory, and I was wearing my armor and my weapons, my whip, whatever I had. And he said, "Come with me." So I went with him, and we went upstairs in the Fally Shield shop. Now, we went upstairs and no one else was there, and he's like, "Hey, I've got a really good thing for you. I want to hold a private drop party for you because I'm quitting and I don't really care and you just seem like a nice person, so I wanted to do this drop party for you." And back when I was a naive kid, I don't know, this was 5 years ago, so I was 15 years old, naive, not knowing what I was doing. I said, "Oh wow, that's awesome." And he said, "Yeah, I have a party hat, you can have some cash, let's go to the Wildy and I'll drop for you in there," because I want it to be kind of a risk thing. So I said, "Okay, that's no big deal, we'll go to the Wildy and I'll get the things." So I thought I was going to get a private drop party where I was going to get a party hat, which was worth insane amounts of money at the time, and I was going to get cash. I didn't know what else this guy had, but he traded it to me and he showed me all of these things, and I was going bonkers. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to get all of this stuff, and I was so naive, so naive. So anyways, I had Varrock Telly runes in my inventory because right after I was done with World 2, I was going to go to Varrock and I was going to go do something, I don't know, but I always kept Telly runes on me. Now, he gave me runes as well to Telly to Varrock to get to the Wildy, so he gave me a Law, a Fire rune, and 3 air runes, and I tellied with him to Varrock. Now, he led me up into the wilderness, and I followed him all the way there, and basically, I thought I had my telly runes plus his telly runes, so I thought I had enough telly runes to go back to Varrock just in case I needed to get out of the Wildy, so I knew it had a chance of being a lure or a scam, so I wanted to make sure that I had the runes to get out of there if I needed to, and I always carried telly runes on me, like I said, when I went to World 2, just in case I had to get out of somewhere. So anyways, we get to the Wildy, and he goes, "Okay, I'm recording now. I wanted to do this for a video." And I was making videos at this time. I made videos back in 2006, so I was making videos for about 2 years or 3 years by then. And basically, he's like, "Okay, let me record. I'm going to put it in a video so that I could show that my quitting party was just one person. I gave all my stuff to you." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good." So he said, "I'm recording now. Let me drop these in the wilderness." So he went into the wilderness, and he started dropping his things. And basically, I waited for him to drop the stuff. I waited for the items to come up. And bam, when the items came up, there was a purple party hat on the floor, and there was a giant cash stack. And I was just like, oh my god, it's actually on the floor. He's actually doing this. This is not a scam or anything. Holy crap. And I looked in the wilderness. I made sure that no one was in there. I made sure that nothing could possibly kill me. I couldn't lose any of my items. He wasn't changing into any gear, so it was okay. He wasn't even around my level, so he couldn't kill me. So I ran into the wilderness. I picked up the purple party hat, and yes, I had the purple party hat in my inventory. I could have just stepped out of the wilderness with that, and I would have had a purple party hat. But of course, when you're 15, you see things on the ground and you already get one of the items, you are greedy and you go for more. So I literally saw the cash stack about 2 steps north of the party hat. So what did I do? Of course, I ran after the cash stack. I picked it up, and it was like 450 mil. So in my inventory, I had a purple party hat, 500 mil cash because I still had my 50 mil for my BGS. I had my whip, and I had all my armor. And I go to turn around to get out of the wildy, and it says you've been frozen. Now I looked on my mini map, and no dots were there, and I only saw this guy, and he said, "Good fight, idiot, ha ha ha." And someone came down and started killing me, but to what I didn't know is that there was one spot in the wildy where someone can stand on a hill and he can see you, but you can't see him because of either the distance, because it was only fixed screen, and because there was a spot on the map where you just couldn't be seen as a dot on the mini map if you stood at a certain place. So I guess they knew that, and when he saw me, he froze me once I got the cash stack, and then he killed me with the DDS spec, and I tried to telly out because, like I said, I had my emergency teleport runes, and what did I do? I was an idiot back then, and I could have escaped, but guess what the runes were in my inventory? When I went to World 2 and I brought my telly runes, I put a law rune, 1 air rune, and 3 fire runes, and a Varrock telly is 1 law, 3 airs, and 1 fire. So I fucked up the amount of runes that each had, and I just couldn't get out of the wilderness. And when I died, I lost all of my money. I lost the P hat. I couldn't put pro item on, so I lost everything I had, and I kept 3 things. I think I kept my rune trimmed armor and my whip or something, I forget, but party hats weren't saved over those because it wasn't based on value. So I only kept 3 items that were worth anything, and it was just awful. I literally lost all my hard-earned cash, and it was the worst feeling in the world. I literally never wanted to feel that ever again. It was such a bad feeling. I can't express to you how horrible it was, and I'm sure most of you guys who are listening have been lured for a little bit or a lot, probably more than me possibly, but it is such a bad feeling, and I know if you've went through it, you know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, please stay away from it. Here's a little advice for you guys. If it's too good to be true, it probably is, okay? No one's holding a personal drop party just for you. No one is going to just give you all of their things unless they're a close friend or they just happen to be giving and they do it in a trade screen. But if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true, trust me. No matter what they say to try to be your friend or whatever, I mean, I've been through it all, through lures and through scams. I had a friend for about a year and a half who had about 13 bill, and he was a super cool dude, and I thought he was my friend. And when I got my yellow, he's like, "Hey man, can I see your yellow, and then I'll give you my blue, and we could take A-log pics and whatever." And I was like, "Okay, sure man, we'll give it all back." And I gave him my yellow, and I never thought he would scam, and he took it, logged off, ran away with it. So anything can happen, for real, like, anything can happen. Anyone who's your friend or who you think is your friend can scam you. I mean, keep a close knit of friends. I'm not saying to trust no one, but be careful with who you trust. Not everyone is there to be your friend. A lot of people are trying to get your money. They're trying to just take everything you have. They're not nice people. There's some bad seeds and there's some good seeds, and it's really hard nowadays to determine who's good and who's bad. So just be careful, guys, because I know when I was lured back in 2008, I wanted to quit, and I was going to quit, and everyone from YouTube said, "Lee, we're willing to help you out, we have stuff to give you, we'll give you money, we'll give you whatever you need to get back on your feet," and I gratefully declined. I said, "No, I can't do that, I don't accept any donations." And then when I saw that so many people were willing to help me, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to quit, I'm going to keep going, because look at all the support I have. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and I'll eventually get my money back. So that's basically what I did, and thanks to all of your support, I really got through that time, but that was such a hard time, and it was such a bad moment in my RuneScape career. I was just like, wow, this is probably the worst thing that can happen to you on RuneScape. So just be careful of lures, guys. Make sure you stay away from people who are trying to put you into clan wars or asking for help in a video in the wilderness and telling you to bring items. Just be really careful because you don't want to lose all the stuff you worked really hard for. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment below on your stories about being lured or stopping a lure or helping someone not get lured. Anything about luring, please let me hear it because I'd love to hear your stories. I hope you guys have gotten past that luring moment, and I hope you didn't quit because of a lure. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Later, everyone.